folks, it's week 8 of our 9-week Winter CSA program. That means you get this box and one more box, and then you have to wait until spring to get more veggies from Featherstone. We have an awesome box this week, and you guys also, our CSA members, donated over $6,000 of veggies to different mutual aid groups in the Twin Cities this week. So thank you guys all for your donations. We'll do more donations for the final box. Thanks for showing up for your community. In this week's box, we have a 5-pound bag of Featherstone carrots. You all are very familiar with Featherstone carrots at this point. Awesome snack, great raw. You can make them into cake, cupcakes, muffins. You can throw them in soup. Super versatile veggie. You got a big 5-pound bag this week. Enjoy those carrots. We also have Tetsu squash for everybody this week. This is that really yummy Japanese hybrid squash that is a really excellent storage squash. I recently made really yummy muffins with this. I think this is a really great squash for baking. It's super rich, very sweet, and has a really nice creamy texture. When you roast it, it almost caramelizes a little bit. So it makes a great squash puree to use in cookies, pie, or breads. But also would be great if you cut it in half, roasted it, and then added it to soups. It just has a really nice dark color and really rich nutty flavor. And then we had red onions for everybody this week, a little different from our typical yellow onion. These are going to be excellent raw, thrown on a salad on top of tacos, or you can cook them up. They are cured onions, nice papery skins on them, so they'll store really well just right on your countertop. And then back in December, we pressed some apple cider and then froze it for everybody so that we could still have nice Featherstone pressed cider for our Winter CSA all the way in February. There's a date on all of these containers, and it is the date of pressing, not the sell by date, because this has been frozen. It should come to you pretty frozen still. It might have started thawing a little bit. It should be okay to throw back in the freezer even though it's started to thaw. But if you want to just throw it in your fridge, let it thaw the rest of the way. I included a nice recipe for mulled cider in the newsletter, as well as some other fun recipes. I would, however, drink it up fairly quickly. I would try and use it up within the next week just so it doesn't get funky, as it has been frozen for a while. Just because we were freezing these, we didn't fill them up all the way so they didn't explode. So there'll be a little bit of a low fill. That was on purpose. We also have sweet potatoes again for everybody. These are coming from Springdale Farm in Wisconsin. A nice partnership with a farm over there. We do not grow our own sweet potatoes. These came to us with a little bit of damage, so we sold them at a bit of a discounted price. So you might have some potatoes with just a little bit of markup on the skin. They're totally fine to eat. You can just trim any little damaged spots away. These are coming in a paper bag. That'll be a great place for them to stay. I would store them in a crisper drawer in your fridge. Make sure they're in a pretty dry spot. If your fridge is really humid, I would keep them in your cupboard or just in your pantry on your countertop, somewhere nice and dry. They're fine to be on your counter for about a week or two. We also have Swiss chard for everybody this week. This is coming from Happy Hollow Farm in Missouri, which is a farm friend that we met at a conference last weekend to pick up greens. They were harvested right during that extreme cold storm, so they're a little floppy. I would recommend just trimming the end of the stems off and putting them in a cup of water in your fridge like a bouquet of flowers. If you have this big bag that comes in your CSA box, I would put that over the top of your bouquet and they'll perk up a little bit. If they don't perk up, just try and eat them as soon as possible or cook them down. You won't notice a difference once they're cooked up. I included a good recipe for a soup that has chard in it in the newsletter on Friday. And then finally, we have some honey from our neighbors right here in Rushford, the Bee Huggers. This is grade A raw unfiltered honey. Got this cute little bottle. Make some roasted glazed carrots. Put this in a yummy squash cake. Add it to your mulled apple cider. Enjoy local honey. And that's everything this week. Enjoy your veggies.